Let you all open all your three eyes.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
In this sacred manual of power manifestation, which serves as a scriptural authority containing the Shastra Pramanas, eternal unchangeable truths, Apta Pramanas, Atma Pramanas, Sakshi Pramanas, and Prataksha Pramanas, we present to you the various powers of Paramashiva. By this, we place before humanity the supreme authenticity of the power manifestation science established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Nithyananda Paramashivam. Paramashiva has systematically revealed these powers in their purest forms as various techniques and revelations to experience pure oneness with Paramashiva. As a direct experience of oneness with Paramashiva, his Shaktis powerfully manifest in an initiated being at different levels of human consciousness, physicality, physiology, psychology, and neurology permanently. We offer these power manifestation manuals to celebrate your experience of oneness with the Supreme Paramashiva. Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam, Jnana Paddhati Manual, under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is power manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is power manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagwan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn, beyond form, formlessness. Is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created, destruction need to be created, and pulling out of delusion need to be created, liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, trobhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 phase, Ishana Murti as 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti as 5 phase, Agora Murti has 5 phase, Tatpurusha Murti has 5 phase. So, Tatpurusha Murti has his 5 phase. Agora Murti has his 5 phase. Vamadeva Murti has his 5 phase. Satyojata Murti has his 5 phase. Ishana Murti has his 5 phase. All these 5 Murtis, 5 phases put together is 25 phases of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagwan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient Enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam has made science of our manifestation, yoga, temple-based university for humanity, Sovereign Order of Kailasha, led by His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam and Nithyananda Order of Monks, Nuns, Hindu diasporas are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nithyananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamalapita Sarvanyapita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagavan now explains who is His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. All is ganas, Shiva ganas. Exactly the word gana means. In your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva gana. All the Shiva ganas formed the first Akhada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akhada. Then all other Akhadas. Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva. When you choose your guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity, which is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. Diksha, or the initiation from His Divine Holiness, Nithyananda Paramashivam, makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars, and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time-tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas, or the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees, and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas, or the scientific studies which can be measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Powerful cognition from Bhagavad Gita decoded. Arjuna wants to know about Parabrahma, Krishna, the ultimate superconscious being. He does not want to know about his friend and charioteer, Vasudeva Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. Arjuna is in the mood of the perfect devotee and disciple. Anything that he can listen about his master is a nectar to his ears. He is in the state of complete immersion. Arjuna is on the verge of immersion. His intellect has almost disappeared. He needs the last nudge, so to speak. You too are the reader. Make your plea of Param Brahma, Krishna, the Jagat Guru, so that he may tell you about his glory, and so that you may meditate upon his glory with a single pointed focus of the mind. As he promised, he will provide the light of wisdom for you to be enlightened. He beautifully says, you too as a reader, make your plea to Param Brahma Krishna, the Jagat Guru, so that he may tell you about his glory, and so that you may meditate upon his glory with a single pointed focus of the mind. As he promised, he will provide the light of wisdom with you to be enlightened. Beautifully here he says how Arjuna was just melting in the presence of Krishna, and he was more and more just getting merged with the oneness space of Krishna, just listening to Krishna's glory. It became nectar to his ears, and he became complete immersion. The beauty of how one can become in deepest oneness with Paramashiva when he is melting in that space in bhakti. So with this powerful cognition, let's go to Shastra Pramana.
Of Vibhuti Spanda, Sutra 3.4 and 3.5. Yatha hi arto sputo drishta savadhane pichetasi bhuyah sputataro bhati swabaloddhyoga bhavitaha tatha yat paramarthena येन यत्र यथा स्थितं तत्तथा बलमाक्रम्य न चिरात् सम्प्रवर्तते.
Here in Spandakarika, section 3, Vibhuti Spanda, Sutra 3.4, 3.5, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, indeed, just as the object of static matter, which in spite of all the attentiveness of the mind, is perceived and seen indistinctively at first, then appears and manifests mere distinctly and clearly, when observed with the strength of one's visual power, so when the yogi restores the power of spanda, the dynamic activity, in its highest essential nature of oneness with Paramashiva, then whatever things of object or idea which is in the static matter exists in the highest dimension in whichever form, whichever plane, whichever place or time, whichever state or dimension, that thing or object at once appears and manifests in its very way by the nature of strategic existence. Beautifully here, Bhagavan gives how you are in oneness with Paramashiva, you will manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. Pusala Nayanar built his whole temple every single day, sculpting every single column and every single place. He built the whole temple, Hridayeshwar, in his depth dimension. The king in the same place built a beautiful temple, and he was asking for Lord Shiva to come and consecrate or inaugurate the whole thing. But the Lord said, my devotee also has the same day, his temple is prioritized, and I am going to be there. The king was so shocked to know who else is building temple in his kingdom other than him, because he has built a most famous, most best temple. And then he goes to see how Pusala Nayanar comes back every day, starts reading the Agama book, and as per Agama, erecting the whole temple in his heart. And Shiva comes down and takes the temple and puts it on the ground in Kanchipuram. Such amazing that it is so soft and it's so beautiful. It doesn't look like it is carved, but something else has happened, and simply it becomes real. Even Ravana, he used to melt in Shiva, and even for his last day, he did the Shiva Puja, and completely in oneness with Shiva, airing the Atmalinga, he went for the war. Such beautiful people, each one of them, lived so beautiful. Karikal Ammayar did not even want to walk on her leg, simply started walking on her hands just to show her love and devotion. Andal, she just disappeared into Vishnu so that nobody touches her body. Only the body is for Vishnu, and she disappeared. Angambumbavi, Nithyananda Sambandar, from the dust, he raised her and simply made her manifest the Rudrakanya space for Lord Shiva. Each and every one of them here just melting in the presence again and again and again. The Apta Pramanas are saying how they lived the presence, knowing their master and simply manifesting and radiating the ultimate science of oneness, and the Shaktis simply happen. So here with this, let's go to the Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana is from Mahabharata, Vanaprarva, Draupadi, section 261, page number 516. Durva and his disciple visited Pandava in their hermitage in the forest. As per Duryodhana's request, during this period of exile, the Pandava would obtain from their food by means of the Akshaya Patra, which would become exhausted each day once Draupadi finished her meal. Because Draupadi had already eaten by the time Durvasa arrived that day, there was no food left to serve him. And the Pandavas were very anxious as their fate should they fail to feed such vulnerable sage. While Durvasa and his disciple were away bathing at the river, Draupadi prayed to Krishna for help. Krishna immediately appeared, and before Draupadi saying he was extremely hungry and asked her for the food, Draupadi grew even more tension, and she she had prayed to Krishna precisely because she had no food left to give. Krishna then told her to bring the Akshaya Partha to him. Then she did, and he partook of the last grain of rice and the piece of vegetable that he found stuck on the vessel, and announced that he is satisfied by the meal. This satisfied the hunger of Dhruva and his disciple, as satisfied of Krishna meant the satisfaction of hunger for all the living beings. The sage Durvasa and his disciple then quietly left after their bath without returning to the Pandavas' hermitage, for they were afraid of facing what they thought would be the Pandavas' warmth reaction at their impolite behavior of refusing the food that would be served to them. Such a beautiful space of Draupadi and how she surrendered to Krishna for any issue that comes to her life and simply manifests the ultimate reality. The Atma Brahmana are the Leelas of Bhagwan. Bhagwan himself narrates.
Everyone who is sitting with us in two-way video conferencing and through Nithyananda TV, Sadhana TV. City is sitting with us in two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha, Seattle Chidambaram, Toronto, Los Angeles, St. Louis, Sadhanananda, Dakota Dunes, Netherlands, Ohio, Charlotte, Martin. So all the temples should be ready to celebrate. You guys will understand, I lived in eternal Mauna and I am living in eternal Mauna because I have not uttered a single word which is not required, which is not important. See, the whole universe is made out of these two, sound and light. Means verbalization, visualization. Sound and light. You need to know, if there is some problem in you related to sound, you can't use verbalization to correct it. Visualization only can correct it. If there is some problem related to light in you, you can't use the visualization to correct it, only verbalization. Sounds can correct it. Please listen. Listen. The whole universe, including you, is made out of sound and light. When the sound and light meets, the universe happens. Mahadeva represents light, Devi represents sound. That is why the syllables we call it as matrika, mata. Sound is mother, light is father. When these two, Nada Bindu, when these two unites, universe happens. Science of Srividya, the ultimate knowledge, is knowledge of using sound and light and achieving the space of Shivoham. That is why all the powerful sounds are used, and in a very powerful way the lines are used. See, all forms are nothing but lines. Everything you see is nothing but lines. Lines in different geometry, that's all. If you draw the line straight, two line, and it looks like a ladder. If you put the same line like this, it looks like a snake. It is just different lines. And listen to this. I was reading a paper in the internet, some research paper published. Long before I read this, and I mentioned about this in many of my satsangs, early satsangs. One guy was trying to develop a therapy called art therapy. Means letting the mad people draw, scratch, paint whatever they want. By painting, drawing, so much of catharsis happens. They get healed. They become all right. That loose screw gets tightened. And they become all right. The funny information is, the doctor who was doing research on all these paintings, he found a very strong similarities between their madness and painting. If somebody has become mad due to women, they all paint in the same way. If somebody has become mad due to money, they all paint in the same way. Listen. The last bit of information is the most important. The doctor who was doing research on all this, he became mad. Now listen, it means your painting shows the inner space you carry. Understand the truths. First, your drawing shows the inner space you carry. Through drawing, you throw your inner space out. Whoever consumes that drawing receives that same inner space. Understand the triangle. You throw your inner space through a drawing. Whoever consumes that drawing receives the same inner space. Mahadeva has thrown open in his, whatever is in his inner space in the form of drawing, that is Sriyantra. Understand? Mahadeva has thrown what is in his inner space, that is Sriyantra. That is
Beautiful Atma Pramana on Sri Yantra. Now, materialization power of teleporting prasad of the food for a mass audience. Now, here we can see that the food, what they have kept for Nevedyam, has kumkum, vibhuti all over it. Anandapriya has shared her testimonial. Millions of devotee disciples are initiated by Bhagavan, who are experiencing all this power manifestation and sharing all this with the world.
Prataksha Pramana. Scientific studies, what can be measured, measuring the effect of being in enlightenment state. The science of teleportation. Science defines teleportation as a process by which an object is dematerialized and essential information about its atomic structure is sent to another point in space, where the object is instantaneously rematerialized or reassembled into its component atoms. Explained using quantum mechanics, teleportation is a mechanism by which information of the exact state of an atom can be transmitted from one location to another. In this process, information is transported from one location to another using an entangled quantum state. Known as quantum teleportation, this process involves a phenomena called entanglement, which is possible only on a microscale. As mentioned earlier, in classical terms, information is called a bit, and in quantum mechanics, it is called qubit. Whereas quantum entanglement allows teleportation to happen instantaneously, recreation of masses larger than an atom would also need a classical information link between the two locations. This link cannot process information faster than the speed of light, and thus there will be a time delay from point A to point B for teleportation to occur. Source is taken from Avatar Shastra, Chapter 10, Science of Miracles, page 202. There is a physical evidence of teleportation of structures ranging from sacred ash to larger objects across continent. Example, from Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Bengaluru Adinam to several international locations outside of India. In physics laboratories, the largest distance of experimental teleportation is 143 kilometers. Larger masses made up of multiple atoms would require more time for reassembly, as they still need to use the classical channel in spite of information having preceded it instantaneously through quantum entanglement. Quantum teleportation is actually a process of replication similar to cloning or biological faxing, where the same information is used to create a duplicate exactly like the original object. The object itself is not teleported, but only information about it is captured and used. The main difference between teleportation, as science knows it, and more conventional forms of sending information from one place to another is that this is a process of instantaneous teleportation. In 1998, for the first time, a team of researchers at California Institute of Technology successfully teleported a photon across a distance of approximately 1 meter. However, in the process, the original object was destroyed. Since then, a number of teleportation experiments have been performed. In 2006, physicists at the Niels Bohr Institute, Denmark, led by Eugene Polzik, teleported photons across half a meter and used them to illuminate a cloud of atoms. This was considered a milestone because it involved teleportation between light and matter. In 2013, the research group succeeded in teleporting information between two clouds of gas atoms and to carry out the teleportation. Not just one or few times, but successfully every single time. The results were published in scientific journal, Nature Physics. In stark contrast to these efforts, the teleportation of whole objects and even people is a well-defined practice in the mystical tradition. Unlike in the scientific context, it is not just the vital information about the object, but the object itself which is teleported. Power of teleportation. Teleport Prasad of food to mass live audience on two-way or across great distance without known physical presence. Setting up. For this process, you will need number 1, camera with timestamp. Number 2, Jnana, this is optional. Number 3, any prasad or food offering to guru or any deity. Number 4, any empty bowl or plate for audience members. And number 5, digital weight scale. Take a few moments to set up your camera. Step number 1, download the timestamp app. Step number 2, click on video. Step number 3, ensure the time is shown on screen. And step number 4, make sure the camera is facing you. Please take a few minutes to set it up. Now the guidelines. For the setup, choose a comfortable location to sit. Number 2, verify each audience member has a clean, dry, empty cup, bowl, or plate in front of them. Step number 3, set up the camera at both locations. A. Manifesting location, focus on the food and the digital weight reading indicating on the digital weight scale. And location B, receiving audience location, focus camera to fully capture the plates and participants. To start, turn on your video recording device with the location, date, and timestamp. Step number 5, if you have Jnana, apply between your eyebrows. If you do not, simply bring your awareness to your brow center. Step number 6, sit straight facing your audience. Verify that yourself, the audience, have their empty containers to receive and remain fully visible to the camera during the whole duration of the manifestation. Step number 7, bring your awareness between your brow center. Gently focus on the prasad of food in front of you while connecting to Paramashiva with a request to teleport the blessed food offerings from where you are to each and receiving containers across the distance. Step number 8, sit for 21 minutes unclutched from all the thoughts that arise during the continuous chanting of the Mahavakya. Enjoy the experience. Step number 9, after the Mahavakya subsides, video verify that the teleportation of prasad of food has disappeared from original location, teleported and reappeared in the group location. Step number 10, manifestation range. Number 1, body temperature change. Number 2, Kundalini energy surges. Number 3, decreasing weight of food or prasad in original location. Number 4, visibly apparent food, particles in the containers of the mass life audience. Number 5, absence of all food or prasad from original location and full teleportation of prasad food on or near the receiving containers. Celebrate your manifestation of teleporting sacred food offering to a mass life audience from across great distance.
Power manifestation instructions. Let's sit straight, the head, neck, and back in a straight line, so that beautifully the Kundalini energy raises to the Agnya where the manifestation happens. Usually, our awareness is on Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipuraha, where navel centered, your below navel center. Here, bringing the awareness to your third eye and sitting straight will give us amazing possibility of power manifestation. Now let's understand few words that Bhagavan is repeatedly using. Shaktipada, oneness, be unclutched, initiation. So here first we will see in Bhagavan's words what is Shaktipada.
Let me give an introduction about what is Shaktipada process. Please understand. You would have seen or heard about how the chicken sits on the egg and hatches. Of course, in the modern countries, this does not happen. Machine sits on the egg and or egg sits on the machine. In those days, originally when hens and chicken were getting produced on the planet Earth, the hen used to sit on the chicken and hen used to sit on the egg and the chicken will come out of the egg. See, same way, Sadashiva sitting means the ultimate cosmic energy sitting on the individual soul and making the individual soul into cosmic energy is Shaktipada. Hen sitting on the egg and making the chicken happen. Same way, you may think, how come, what is going on here? That hen is only sitting just by the body heat of the hen, the egg is becoming chicken. Because no surgery is done and nothing goes inside. It's only sitting. Same way, it is just sitting. It's only the presence, the Shaktipada, makes the individual soul into cosmic soul.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained Shaktipada, how individual soul becomes cosmic soul. And let's listen to initiation.
You see, let me explain the initiation. Initiation is the process beyond your intellectual understanding. The transmission of lamp happens. Now, you understood something intellectually. There is something which is not understood, which can't be transmitted through the words. That is transmitted. That's what we call initiation. Sometimes I tell people that unless you are initiated, the techniques do not create the result. The reason is you do not grasp completely whatever is expressed through words. Initiation is like it just transmits whatever need to be transmitted beyond logic and beyond words. People ask me, why to wear this bracelet or this mala and all those things. This all will remind you. Why bracelet in the hand? It will remind you, before eating, did you meditate? It's a constant reminder. Before eating, let you be reminded, did you do the meditation? That is why this bracelet. That is why this mala. That is why this external things. Sometimes this external things does a big job of reminding you constantly. That is why take the help of external things also, nothing wrong. People ask me, why we can just be spiritual without having external things? If you can, really you are welcome. But I don't think anybody who speaks in that way is successful. I've never seen people becoming successful, avoiding the external things, just having internal things. And it is just a nice way of escaping from yourself.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained initiation. Let's listen to be unclutched. What is to be unclutched?
The thoughts, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Because the gap between two thoughts is too small. The neutral space between the two thoughts is too small. You think all the thoughts are connected and it is in the shared form. It is not. By your very nature, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Between every thought, you experience a neutral space. When you change the gear, whether you go from neutral to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to whatever gears you may change, but every time you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to the next gear. Even if you want to go from 2 to 3, you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to 3. Same way, between every thought, you experience a neutral space. You experience a neutral space between every thought. Between every thought. That neutral space, that silence is what I call peace or bliss. The peace which exists, the bliss which exists already in you between every thought, the gap of the thought, the gap between the thoughts, that neutral space is the peace, is the bliss. When you understand you are unconnected, independent, illogical, and unclutched by your very nature, you will start experiencing the neutral space in you, neutral space which exists in you. You will start living from moment to moment in spontaneity. We need to understand one more thing. This technique of being unclutched, it does miracles in your being, in the body level, or in the mental level, or in the being level. In every level, when you understand the truth, by your very nature, you are unclutched. The tremendous quantum transformation. You take a quantum jump. The transformation happens in quantum, not step by step. Just one jump. You take a quantum jump and experience the truth awakening in you.
The oneness space is the most beautiful space that Bhagavan himself is explaining how we are ferocious. Beyond the tiredness and boredom, we can experience the space of oneness and be unclutched.
Oneness is not imagination. Oneness is not visualization. Oneness is not even just declaration. It is your existence. An idea which is you is oneness. The idea which has become part of your very space, which does not tire you or bore you by the passage of the time, is oneness. Mahadeva says in the Agama, Sadashiva beautifully explains in the Agama, Kala, Yama cannot tire you or bring boredom to you if something becomes your space. Devi achieved the blissful state and union with Mahadeva on Shivaratri day because our space became oneness. Anything which brings tiredness or boredom has not yet become your space. If living in this body brings you tiredness and boredom, you are not going to be living in this body forever. When that becomes too much, you are going to drop it and move ahead. If you want to be in oneness forever, it should become part of your space, means you should become ferocious with you and break this very tiredness and boredom. Only when you deal you with the ferociousness, you break the tiredness and boredom. With that ferociousness, you need to make oneness as your space. Anything stands as an imagination in the length level, visualization in the breadth level, declaration in the depth level. If you open your time with ferociousness, it just sinks into space level. With this ferociousness, the time layer in you opens, and the oneness from imagination to visualization to declaration, it becomes your space, the way of existence.
the most important, Bhagavan says, being unclutched, understanding the Shaktipada, the oneness space, and chanting the Mahavakya. The Mahavakya, the power of the Mahavakya pushes you into the higher states of consciousness. Here Bhagavan himself explains how we can experience the Shaktipada, raised higher consciousness through Mahavakya.
It's one of the very important revelation by Sadashiva. All the electronic equipments work when the electrons are made to vibrate. That happens by the light. When the electricity is supplied, the light particle vibrates, the electronic equipment starts working. Just like that, the spiritual power and the umbilical cord connection, spiritual umbilical cord connection between you and me, it works with sound particle. For example, my integrity with the cosmos, Sadashiva, Mahasadashiva, it reverberates in certain level of frequency. When you are integrated to me, you also start reverberating in the same frequency. If your integrity goes down, that is when you start connecting with me only as a manager or this organization head or your Purvashram father, mother. Your connection with me goes down to the lower level if the integrity gets reduced. I was wondering, what is the way we can bring people to the higher integrity immediately and the feeling connection, so they start manifesting the powers, they start staying in the space of Sadashivatva. Sadashiva revealed a beautiful sound. I can tell you, this is like a password. At any point, if you are not able to bring yourself to oneness, you are a little shaken, disturbed, or for some reason, you are not able to bring yourself to oneness. This is like a password. You type, whether your mind feels connected or not, the energy will start flowing in you beyond the depth dimension. You see, all mind oscillation, restlessness, all mental idea based feeling connected or not feeling connected is only length, breadth, depth level, not in the space level. But this sound will straight infuse energy from the space level. Like for example, if the power goes off, automatically the generator will get switched on and the power supply will be going on. So end result will not be lost. Whether government power supply or the generator power supply, end result will not be stopped. So whenever you feel little that oneness is, you are not catching it, just feed this password. Immediately the oneness will open up and you will start manifesting the powers, energy, and the whole space will shift. It is directly from Sadashiva. It's a beautiful sound. I don't even want to say it's a mantra. It is not even a mantra because there is no meaning in it. You can't derive a meaning for it. It just flashed like a password for all the initiations I am giving. One single password for all the initiations I am giving. And the initiations I gave, I am giving, I will be giving for all that. This is like one password. Don't even repeat like a mantra. Just feed like a password and it will just open up. Your whole being will open up. Listen carefully. It starts with the vibration Om. Listen and then repeat. Om. Very deep. Om. Nithyananda. Nithyananda. Maha Sabashivoham.
So Bhagavan gave beautiful explanation of how you can be in Shaktipada. Visualize Paramashiva who has come down as Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam from Kailasha. Remembering Paramashiva in your third eye, again and again, bringing your awareness to your third eye simply makes you manifest powers. Absolute unclutching. How Bhagavan said, the neutral zone, nothing ever touches the screen. Like same way, the movie does not touch the screen, whether it is happening in ferocious or any soft, beautiful, nothing touches the screen. Be unclutched like the screen. And to experience the state of Paramashiva, your inner space being completely unclutched. Complete completion to experience the space of Paramashiva. Inside us, the complete completion happens when we are in tune with Paramashiva. That everything is redundant and irrelevant. The essence of completion is irrelevant. Nothing matters in your life because everything is complete completion. Oneness with Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, in ferocious breaking the boredom and tiredness, just being in the space of oneness with Paramashiva to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. Tyaga as Paramashiva is your only strength, now declaring complete integrity with Bhagavan to experience the being of Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, chanting the Mahavakya raises your frequency and that is your only strength to manifest any reality. Being in this beautiful space of Paramashiva, you can experience such a beautiful space, state, powers, and becoming the being of Paramashiva, manifesting whatever you want. Now, you will be manifesting the powers, watching the oneness capsule, and chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. We'll be playing the Mahavakya and the oneness capsule for you to manifest powers. At end of the Mahavakya, you can start with the verification and sharing and causing. Thank you.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, Let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eye. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Verification process. Please verify the following. Number 1. The location, time, and date stamp appear on each video device. Number 2. Set up video devices in each location. Number 3. Focus camera at all times on location A, where the original Prasad is to sit on top of the weight scale. Ensure the digital weight numbers are visible at all times. And location B, where the receiving containers of the participants. You can use 2 cameras to set up on either end of the audience. Step number 4, video devices are set up for wide angle, horizontal, and clear full views. Number 5, unedited video accepted only. Cameras remain in one spot during the manifestation process. Number 6, video recording is continuous, without stopping and restarting during the manifestation process. Number 7, at the audience location, video verify that each container is empty to start before they are placed in front of each participant. And number 8, teleportation of prasad of food has A, physically disappeared in front of the manifester, B, prasad has physically teleported in front of each respective participants. All captured on video. Thank you so much for your participation.
Beautiful. We are at the end of the power manifestation, but most important part of the power manifestation. Here, we are going to share all that you have manifested with the social media groups. Here we have Sri Kailasha Kotyar Manifesting Power groups. Thousands of people are part of that. And you can share there and you can post your powerful cognition and the videos. The link is tinyurl.com/power manifestation. It is at the left corner of the page. You can click on it and you can post your beautiful experience in the power manifestation group. Why sharing and causing is very important part of power manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully explains that sharing is pulling us out of delusion and causing is liberating us. We are the ones who need to start experiencing the higher states of reality, how we need to exist. Beautifully, Bhagavan explains when you are sharing with others the ultimate beautiful multidimensional logic, your brain rewires into the higher space of consciousness, the Turyatita state. Again and again, when you experience even a little bit, you share with the world, your experience becomes reality. Same thing when you cause others to come and get initiated for higher reality, you are caused into the higher purpose, the ultimate reality. Bhagavan says extreme causing, extreme power manifestation is extreme causing. So beautifully he explains how our strength is declared on Paramashiva. The power manifestation happens exactly in tune to that. And sharing with the world, continuously reiterating ourselves the experience that we had from the powerful cognition and manifesting the space of Paramashiva, the state of Paramashiva, the beings of Paramashiva, we become Paramashiva. Go on sharing and causing, which is the most important part of how you have experienced your reality. When you go to a temple, we pray and we see that beautiful experience happen in us, and then share with the world that how amazing the temple experience has manifested as your reality. Same way, when you manifest powers, when you share with the world, it becomes more and more the depth cognition of you, and you will be experiencing more powers. Even if you're manifested very small, it does not matter the quantity, Bhagavan says. The quality is important. If it is authentic, please go ahead and share with the world. Do not doubt, have self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred come and block anything. Experience the ultimate in deep seeking and gratitude. Bhagavan manifest in you with a deep prayer, that asking Bhagavan to make this reality as your existential reality. With that, let's end with the Purna Mantra. Thanking Bhagavan for all these great experience. We have come to the end of the power manifestation course, and we end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamadashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Parameshivam Padaka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you for participating in the Jnana Paddhati, Nithyananda Jnana Paddhati course. Please go ahead and select more power manifestation and every day experience the ultimate reality for yourself. Nithyananda.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham